Different's great, but being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake of
technology, increased, I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes.
Because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Master Connector Show. It's Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Therefore, you are on the Master Connector Show. And I hope you're tuning in here every single week because we have amazing guests every single week. I got to thank my co-host and the Master Connector, Steve, because he contacts these people. He reaches out. He creates and starts relationships with amazing people who are achievers. And speaking of achievers, we got a great guest for you today. If you ever wondered, what does it really take to succeed? Today's guest is going to hammer it out for you. But, you know, Steve and I, we go way back. We're two former shy guys. We are introverts. About 27 years ago, Steve and I met through a common business, and we had similar mentors. And we were both, well, I'll say I was clueless. I don't know if Steve was clueless. I was totally clueless about success and business and leadership and all that stuff, relationship building. I didn't know what I was doing. I think Steve had a leg up. Steve had some success under his belt. He had started his own advertising agency. He holds a couple of different black belts in different martial arts disciplines. I didn't have any of that. I had nothing under my belt. But what Steve and I both shared together was that we were starting from a place of introversion, painfully being shy. We were both picked on as younger kids in grade school and whatnot. But today we've come doing a complete 180. As you can see, we're hosting the show. We're meeting all kinds of people. We've got things going on. Steve's an author. He's an accomplished speaker. Just amazing. So help me welcome to the Master Connector Show, my co-host, Master Connector himself, Mr. Steve Spiro. What's up, Steve?
What's up there, Robbie G? How you doing, sir?
Doing great, man. I love when we do this.
It's amazing, and we do have so many different similarities, but also some differences. Like you got hair, I don't. You know, like
it's there for now.
Yeah, well, you got this going. I might get this. I don't know. Everyone's like, you should think about the goat now that you got the shape.
This took me 57 years to come in, and it's still not quite coming in, as you can see. So, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have that challenge. I just, anyway, it's awesome knowing you for 27 years. I appreciate you, bud, having you as a friend, and now a partner on the show here, co-host. It's been awesome. It's been a blessing of an experience, I got to say. But if you don't know Rob G, you need to get to know him. Make sure to connect with Rob. He is the brand builder extraordinaire. I like what you put there. No fear. You know, build your brand, I think, on your LinkedIn profile, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. You know, I've been engaged in LinkedIn a lot lately and following some people because I want to build up more influence on LinkedIn. So I've been following a lot of LinkedIn builders and people who have succeeded on it. And I rewrote that profile line probably 2 weeks ago after listening to a guy talk about it. Because my old one just kind of said what I do, like brand builder, like it says here. Yeah. And he was saying, you know, that's like a sales line. You want it to be a hook. You know, we talk about hooks, right? And that hook is that, you know, crush fear, build a strong brand. So that's kind of my hook. I'm trying it out. I don't know if it's working, but we'll see.
It hooked me. I can tell you that. So, all right. Well, awesome. Well, what's going on, friends? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And we're going to have an amazing time today. Welcome to a groundbreaking episode of understanding what success really means, right? And so for me, true success, don't judge me, it is how many people are better off because I was here, right? That's what it is for me. But what about for you? I mean, I'd love for you to get in the comments. Speaking of which, get in the comments, you know, make sure you're telling us where you're coming in from and, you know, what city, state, what country. Tell us a little bit about what you do. Make sure to connect with each other, right? Because this is the Master Connector Show, and we're not LinkedIn lurkers. We're LinkedIn participants. Want you in there in the comments, and we're going to give you some help if you're not sure. Like, what do we put in the comments? All right, we'll give you some help on that too. But today we're going to deep dive into the essence of success with profound insights that can reshape your journey. You know, Join us as we unravel the transformative power of leading with passion and connection, discovering the strengths embedded in the art of pivoting, and exploring the dynamic nature of success that takes different forms for each of us at various times in our life, right? Get ready for a conversation that promises to inspire, challenge, and redefine your understanding of success. And this is not just a show, it's a catalyst for personal and collective growth. Okay. So we're putting a big expectation on Olivia here, but it's going to be a great show. And she's got an amazing background. You're going to hear about that in a minute. But so let's embark on an enlightening exploration together. So if you're ready, I want you to, put in the comments right now, hashtag let's go, because we're going to get ready to have my man, Rob G, introduce Olivia. So Rob, I'll turn it to you.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I'm excited. So we're going to get right to it. But listen, our guest today, Olivia Atkin, is a dynamic force of inspiration with a diverse background that started in the sports world, moved into supply chain management, then career development, landing currently in the entrepreneurial field where she helps entrepreneurs along their path to achieving success, one of my favorite topics. Olivia sports an impressive array of certifications, including her Green Belt in Six Sigma, which many Fortune 100 companies have used to save billions of dollars. She's a TEDx speaker. She's founder and owner of Achieving Success LLC. She's host of the podcast Achieving Success, and she's author of the book Achieving Success and Career Development. Let's talk about success. Please welcome to the show, Olivia Atkin. Hey, Olivia.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited because achieving success is one of my favorite topics.
Well, it's great to
All
have
right,
you.
we're going to have a blast today. There's no doubt about it for sure. So, well, great stuff. Well, Olivia, it's good to have you on here, and obviously, it's going to be an engaging conversation. So we want to dive in real quick right now, and a lot of people over the last, I don't know, 3 years since the pandemic, for some of us, a lot of us had to pivot, right? I know I've done some pivoting in my life, right? From the advertising world into technology, and then eventually into consulting, and now speaking, broadcast, authoring. It's crazy, right? So I want your community type in hashtag pivot. So can you share, Olivia, a personal experience? Because we love stories, right? A personal experience where the ability to pivot played a crucial role in achieving success, and what strengths did you discover through that process?
Ooh, that's a great question because there's so many times I have pivoted. Like mentioned in my intro, I have a degree or certification in every business area. So pivot has kind of been the name of the game for me a little bit. But I always say the power of the pivot is also building yourself up to have the skills, to have that expertise in different areas, and really be able to know what you know, but build up the things that you don't know while you're in a certain role, so that when you want to pivot, you're not starting at ground zero. You're starting at ground 15, 30, 50, whatever it might be, while also setting yourself apart. So for me, one moment when I was pivoting was from, the sports world into supply chain. Ironically enough, I decided to go back to school and get my MBA in 2019. So I started the 2-year MBA program, which I did in 2 semesters, in September or August 2019. I was not working full time. I went back to school full time, because imagine doing a degree program in 2 semesters that's supposed to be 2 years, 4 semesters a year, your summer terms, all that. So I went back full throttle. Spring semester hits, COVID hits. Lucky for me, no sports were going on. It was a perfect time to finish my degree because I wasn't missing anything. However, at that same point, I decided that going into supply chain was where I wanted to be at the time. It allowed me to take the things I felt like I was missing in sports, which was being able to bring all the pieces and understand how all the pieces fit together, being able to collaborate with so many different teams within an organization, all this stuff. Well, during that pivot, I know supply chain experience prior to that. So I'm not only competing with people who are about to graduate, but it was a massive time for layoffs. So people were looking for new roles, individuals who had been doing this job for 10 years and just now trying to find something. I was competing against everyone. The way I pivoted, though, was understanding all the things I did in sports and how, even though role-wise it wasn't equivalent, what were the tasks inside those roles that would make my supply chain transition better, smoother, bring that other aspect that maybe people who've been in the industry for X amount of years do not have. And I really sat down and said, okay, what do I bring to the table? Take the job titles out of it, take the exact role out of it. What are the skill sets and what's going to help me? And is there a gap that I should try to fill while I go through an interview process? And for me, there was definitely that gap. One of the things was there's a platform that Lockheed Martin uses that I never heard of before. And I kept hearing it in different job descriptions, even within supply chain. And so when I kept seeing it on job postings, I said, okay, if this is what I want to pivot into, and I keep seeing this term, what does this term mean? That's how I found out it was a software system. Okay, how can I learn a little bit about that software system so when I go into a conversation, I actually know at least the groundwork of what that provides. So I think that's a really important aspect of the pivot, is having some of that groundwork lie in and not looking just at equivalence. Okay, taking it a step further, how does that then look inside roles? What are the skill sets you want to be doing?
Robbie J, I don't know if he's frozen. He looks like he's frozen. Yeah, interesting. Okay, we'll keep rolling here. It looked like he had a question, but I'm gonna keep it rolling here. So, and Rob, you can always jump in at some point, but we want to talk about success. And, it's interesting, right? That's what this particular topic is about. So community, type in hashtag success. And here's what we want to ask you, Olivia, right? In your opinion, what is the key to understanding what achieving success truly means? And how can it vary for individuals at different stages of their life?
I think success always is changing because, like ourselves, we are never stagnant. Every day we're changing, we're adapting, we're having new experiences. So it is not unrealistic to have success change for you as you go through different life moments, events, experiences. And so I always say, embrace the fact that success is going to change. Embrace asking yourself every year, every 3 years of, okay, what does success now look like for me? For me today, success, kind of like you, Steve, is how can I make an impact? As long as I am making an impact in someone's life, whether I know it or not, I have been purposeful. I've succeeded in my success goals for the day. But I look at, okay, what are the things I am doing today that is making that impact? For us, I think when as individuals we start out of college, we're ingrained due to society that success is money. It's getting that title and the role, not knowing what that actually might mean or what we might actually have to give up or say no to actually hit those landmarks. But the conversation I always look to when I consult with clients or we're talking about success is, what are you passionate about? What are the things that if you go throughout your day and nothing else gets accomplished, as long as there's that one thing, what is that one thing that you will feel like you've done something throughout your day? What is that thing that you say, okay, if I had no choice and I had to give up this list of things, I'm okay giving them up. But this one thing I'm not okay with. And that will start to put you down the line of what success means and looks like to you today in your journey.
Love that. I love that. And, I don't know if Rob mentioned it in your intro, but you've been blessed to do a TEDx talk, right? And that's a goal for me to get on a TEDx stage, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm not successful because I haven't been on a TEDx stage. It just
Sure.
means that that's one of one of the landmarks for me on the road. It's like one of those mile markers, right? There'll be a mile marker on the road to success, right? And for me, in terms of my long-term goals and my I have a life's mission statement. I'll never achieve. Let me say it like this: when I go to my grave and I go to the next phase of eternity, that's when I'll have done everything I can to achieve that goal. Because it's not like it's climbing Mount Everest. You've done it, okay? I'm successful. I did no. It's one of those goals that will never be able to be achievable, definitively. And I love that because it'll allow me to keep something that's going to drive me. In the promo video, right? Rob says, because what drives you, right? He talks about that in the video. But we all need something to motivate us. I think we're humans that want to always be achieving and striving towards something. And having something like that where I could take it till I'm 70, 80, 85, 90, 95. Who knows? I mean, my wife was showing me an image or a video of a woman who was, I think, 100, celebrating 106th birthday, right? And she made a cake for herself for her birthday. Okay. So listen, whatever keeps you going. But that, to me, having a goal that you can continuously work towards till they put you 6 feet under is just it's cool for me. So, but we're gonna keep things rolling here. You mentioned it before, Olivia, passion, right? So we want to community type in hashtag passion, and we're gonna get things rolling here. Thank you, Robbie G. I know Rob's been having a little bit of technical stuff, so I appreciate you in there, sir. But here's the question. How can individuals harness the power of passion to drive success, both for themselves and in creating meaningful connections with others, right? Because we're about connections, the Master Connector Show. So we want to always tie it back to that. But give us your perspective, Olivia, if you could.
I think with driving your passion, it's also in hand connecting and having the conversations that really challenge one's thinking, illuminates conversations, makes you think a little harder sometimes. It's about sitting back and going, okay, I want to talk about this, but also saying, how can I maybe teach and have a passionate conversation with someone else? Because at the end of the day, the connections we build, you never know how that might play a role in our long-term success. The friend you have today might end up pivoting themselves and changing career paths, right? They might end up one day growing up a food chain and going from an assistant to that movie director role they dreamed of being, that TEDx speaker. It doesn't, you never know. But having the passion that drives you, looking for the things that excite you every day, looking for the things that no matter how stressful you are throughout the day, you look forward to having conversations about them, right? For me, that's achieving success. It's about podcasting. It's about personal and professional development. This week is a pure example of it. I've been going 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day because of meetings and different events that I'm doing. And it can get stressful because you're like, okay, in between all these meetings, I also have to do my client work. I have to get these deliverables that I have promised clients for Thursday during their weekly touch base emails. I have to be able to provide that. But as much stress that it might have because you're crunched on time, I never look at it as, oh my God, I have to do this, right? It's one of those things where you're like, oh, I have to do that, but I get to do that. So ask yourself the question of, what are you saying to yourself, I get to do?
That's right. I love that. Yeah, it's not you have to, it's you get to. That's great. It's a great perspective for sure. And I love that. And the good welcome back, Robbie G. Welcome back.
I know I took a little trip on you guys, but a little technical, but I think I got it straightened out. But I wanted to just pop in on a second there, Olivia, because when you're talking about the things that you get to do, when I spent 25 years in corporate America, and I liked it in the beginning, and gradually over time, it felt like a prison sentence to me, and I'm not putting it down. I'm just putting it down for me. After a while, I just couldn't take it anymore. I needed to be on my own. But what I was looking at was, what do I want my business to be in my life? What excites me? What part of my work, branding, do I love to do the most? And sometimes I had to guide it that way, even though maybe it wasn't even the most financially great decision, to be able to wake up every morning and be like, I get to do this today, like excitement, because I think people undervalue that notion that really enjoying and having fulfillment in your work makes you better at what you do. Like this kind of stuff, when I said Steve and I are introverts, like I get pumped to do this. I love talking to people like you, Olivia, because I am better because I met you. So when I leave here, I'm ready to level up. So I think that whole idea of I get to do stuff is a powerful notion.
Thank you. And it's one of those things too, that, like you said, leaving corporate America, so many people go into corporate and then they realize it's not anything what they thought it was going to be. They dread waking up. There were times before I left Lockheed Martin that I'd wake up and start my day. And as soon as I got out of bed, I was like, and started turning that computer screens on, I was like, how many more hours do I have? Right? And you're just like, oh my God. Right. And so it's asking yourself too, even though it might be scary leaving a secure job or doing that pivot, will it be more rewarding to yourself? Will you potentially be less stressed? Because again, back to my last point, life is full of stressors. There's no person in this world that will go throughout life without having and experiencing stress throughout their day, their week. Yeah. But it's how do you view that stress? Do you view that stress as like, as soon as it pops up, like being in corporate for me and Rob, based on what you were saying, that thing of like, I just want to avoid it. Like now I'm stressed and I so don't want to do that. And I want the day to go by quickly. Or do you view it as, okay, this is stressful because I have all these moving pieces, but it's also fun because I get to do these things. And ask yourself, what are those things, especially when we talk about pivot or achieving your success goals? What are those things, those stressors that as you're looking at the day are stressors and you're just totally avoiding it? And what are those stressors that you still get excited about doing? You still look forward to doing. You might have 20 meetings on your calendar, but you're excited for those meetings. And that, I think, sometimes also ties back to our passion. What are our superpowers? What are the things that drive us? And one conversation I have a lot with clients is look at those stressors, look at the things you're passionate about. What is it within a role? Because if you pivot, look for those things that you like doing in your new role. Make sure even if it's the same job title within the same field or different field, does that description align with more of what you're passionate about, what you look forward to doing? Or is it just that next step, that next job, and you're going to be miserable in 3 months? As well as being able to sit there and go and listen to your environment. Sometimes you don't even realize your superpower is your superpower because it comes so easy to you. It's something you're passionate about. It's your purpose. To you, it's like, why isn't everyone else thinking about when it gets brought up to you? But when you listen to people that you work with, your community, and they're going, how did you come up with that? How did you think about that? How are you so easily approaching that? Why isn't that stressful for you?
Olivia, I'm going to jump in here for a second because we just have a couple minutes. Like time is flying. We have a couple of minutes. I just want to remind our audience, you can ask a question. Today's show is understanding what success really means. And we don't have nearly enough time with Olivia to get into a lot of stuff. But if you have a specific question for her, now is the time to put it in the chat because we only got her for a few more minutes. And as I'm listening to you, Olivia, I'm going, man, your clarity around success is like no other that I've heard. So audience, get a question in that chat. If you got something specific before we leave here, then Steve's going to take it from here though.
Yeah, I think we're going to do one more question and then unless the audience has one, but I want to talk about manifestation. So type in hashtag manifest community, unless you have a question, and we'll go to yours. But Olivia, we love stories. Can you share a story of an example, a story or an example that illustrates how success can manifest in diverse ways from different people, highlighting the importance of recognizing and celebrating individual paths to achievements.
Yes. So one example, I think hard work and manifesting go hand in hand, because if you're not qualified for something, it doesn't always matter how much you manifest it. You have to have that backing, but it plays a role in what you end up manifesting. For me, when I was told I'd never get a role at the New York Giants and I put in the work and I was manifesting, oh, I'm going to get that. I ended up getting it. It was the mix of being like, I'm going to do what I have to do and I'm going to put it into the universe. And I think when those two go hand in hand, it can be so powerful. And I think the other part of manifesting is not allowing other people's noise to get in your space and really leveraging. I know for myself, Steve, you let me know how you feel about this. But when I hear someone tell me no, I'm like, that Katy Perry song Roar kind of hits of like, okay, now watch me move and watch me do it. Watch how big that roar is.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that song, that video. So cool. It's awesome, right? But yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. And I you've had so many cool things you've done, right? The TEDx, working for the Giants and the Mara family, and it's just pretty cool. I remember our conversation now, but so cool having you on here. I just wanted to number one, thank our community. We have an amazing community, but more importantly, I want to thank you, Olivia, for being on here. You brought incredible energy. You brought amazing knowledge and clarity, like Rob said. This is great. But we got to wind things down. But if you can, before we have you jump off here into the green room, best way that the community can reach out and connect with you, because we want them to reach out to connect you. So just let us know, please.
So you can connect with me on LinkedIn by searching Olivia Atkin or the Achieving Success LLC LinkedIn page. You can also go to my website, achieving-success.com, or email me personally. I personally answer every single email.
Wow.
Yeah, it might take a few days, but I'll get to it. And that is olivia.atkin@achieving-success.com. And listen to the podcast, Achieving Success with Olivia Atkin.
For sure. Well, we just want to, we again want to thank you, and we really appreciate you. All right, good stuff. So, all right, so here we are.
Yeah,
Rob G.
I'm going to jump in there because look, we're talking about success today, everybody, and Olivia was just fantastic. Please follow her on LinkedIn. At least start there and get her information. Start getting into her world if you want to achieve more success. And speaking of achieving success, here's another resource for you. You want to pick up Steve's book, The Tao of a Master Connector. As I said in the beginning, Steve holds several degrees of a couple of different black belts and a couple of different martial arts disciplines. And so he knows about success and overcoming. Success is about overcoming. And you hear Olivia talking about using your skill sets and finding the gaps and closing the gaps of your knowledge and whatnot. Check out this book. I read this book. Highly recommend it. Steve's book is going to show you how somebody went from not succeeding at the level he wanted to succeeding at the level he wanted to. And still, I know there's goals there, Steve, that you still have in mind, accomplishments you want to do that you're definitely out there to hit.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thanks for the plug on that. And yeah, it's been a blessing. And it's funny, in that picture, I got a hat on. So good. I could use that picture for a while now, because it doesn't show that I've got hair now that I don't have hair. But anyway, listen, community, and I just want to give a special shout out of our whole community. Yolanda, we just love and appreciate you. Thank you for being such a loyal, participant, right? You call yourself out, right? A participant from Texas. So appreciate you. We just love and appreciate our community, and that's the reason we're here. We're not here because of our glory. We're here for you, and so make sure to tune in next week. It's a monumental episode 150. Not that today wasn't great, but 150. So 1.5 centuries, if you will, of episodes, if you will. But it's going to be the topic title is Mentorship is Your Legacy with Mark Lee. It's going to be a great show. Excited about that. And listen, if you're interested in hosting an episode, go to the masterconnector.show website, and you'll have an opportunity to learn more about that and see the value of that, because we love having the ability. We're looking for a little bit of support so we can continue to do more great things and touch more lives and really make an impact in this world, right? Which is ultimately why we're here, right? The real reason we're here is, we're in a dark place. The world is dark. There's lots of loneliness. There's hurting people. But let's always remember, it's to shine our light, uplift other people, right? You don't have to be, it's not about, tearing people's building down so your building can look taller. No, it's about uplifting, because a rising tide raises all ships. So let's make sure we're always uplifting people. If you haven't today, I want you to make a commitment to send a text message out or a message out to 3 individuals, just saying something nice and making their day a little brighter. So again, as I like to say all the time, let's make sure to always be the light. See you next time.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.